to talk about something interesting.
All right, ladies, gentlemen, friends, lovers, bitches, bros, non-binary hoes, wake the fuck up. We have Madoka Magica news. Today, we got a special little secret, kind of illegal leak, I suppose you would call it, for a new version of the trailer for Walpurgisnacht Rising. Now, let me temper your expectations a little bit before I get into this, because clickbait is really just for the thumbnails and the headlines. But this is kind of a remix of the trailers that we've seen before this year, and also a couple new shots focusing on Homura that are really telling. This was also, we can see here, aired after the airing of Rebellion, which just happened here in Japan recently. So somebody went into the theater, snuck, and took a video on their phone of this trailer that will soon be released on the Aniplex main channel, in I'm sure glorious high definition. If you want to watch the trailer in full before going on further in this video, I will link the tweet in the description, though for how long that's going to be up and what the deal is with that, anyone's guess, right? Even this video could be taken down very quickly because it's Sony and Aniplex, and boy, have they done that on my channel before. So I'm not going to play the trailer in full. I'm just going to skip through and analyze and see what we're dealing with, what it's giving us, and what kind of dirty little speculation we can get into here. First, let me say, let's just find something nice for you to look at. Oh, here, yeah. See if you can speculate on this. This is the first new scene. Let me just say that this is really confirming my belief that this movie is quite finished. The way they're promoting this, the angle of building hype, and also, somebody mentioned me on Twitter and said that, like, it really does look clean and polished and put together, especially even the shots that we've seen previously. And yeah, I mentioned this in my trailer analysis of the previous versions of this trailer, that yeah, it really does look like it wouldn't take another year to put this movie out. And I suspect with this type of marketing push that Shaft will have it out in January or February of 2025. It says winter 2025 at the end of this trailer, like it has previously. But yeah, I'm taking this as almost confirmation, I suppose, that we're going to get this recently. Although, if you do follow my channel, I had a community tab update. My friend Chris met with Christina V recently, Homura's voice actor, and she stated that she has not been contacted about the English release of this film yet. So that's pretty telling. You know, there was a recent talk they had in October, and boy, if she's not recording the English version in October, and that's a sign that we're probably not getting the English version until much later. Still doesn't mean the Japanese vocals with subtitles won't come over to the States or wherever you may be. But yeah, so still up in the air on that regard. Let's start the analysis, shall we? This is the first new shot, and it comes right after the shot of the exhaust fan, right here, the cooling exhaust fan blowing with the eye in it, the witch's eye. Something we talked about when we analyzed the other versions of this trailer. Let me also state right now that that's not the only similarity with the other versions of this trailer. The lines are exactly the same. Everything that Madoka says. Madoka narrates the same stuff about hope will find you, etc., etc., etc. It's just as powerful. Aoi Yuki is incredibly powerful voice actor. Go see my breakdowns. Anyway, the new symbol, rotating of the fans. Again, this is kind of the MO for Walpurgisnacht Rising. We have revolutions, right? We have the Utnaya staircase, we have the turning of the wheel, and then we have this cutting right in here. Now, this doesn't look like too much like a fan, although we can see some wind vane type wind panes up here. Stained glass motif, that's just not really stained glass, but the elaborate window motif, I suppose. Very Madoka Magica-esque, right? Very canonically Madoka Magica. And of course, you can see him right back there. Little fucker. Oh, wait, where'd he go? There it is. That's Kyubey. That's Kyubey creeping, right? We can't make heads or tails of the setting here currently. It's just something that you see all over the place in Madoka Magica. No idea what this wind vein is doing or the leaf symbology in it. But the fact that Kyubey has those red eyes clearly insinuates that not only is Kyubey creeping, not only is he watching, I guess I should use it for Kyubey, not only is it watching, but it is malicious. I mean, it's hard to interpret red eyes in any other kind of way. Again, weird, right? Considering where we left off with the end of Rebellion and Kyubey not having any power. So whatever the circumstances are, and I believe if I had to bet, I bet this movie would be one where the circumstances aren't apparent to the viewer until they get going and get in the fact, you know, kind of like Rebellion was, where it opened up and you're like, wait, this is weird. Why are they all five working together, etc., etc., etc. They're not going to really tell you what's going on and exposit everything straight ahead. You're going to see stuff like this, and you're going to have to reason in your mind that, like, that's not the place we left Kyubey off at the end of Rebellion. What's going on? So do I have an answer for that? No, of course I don't. No, there's some fun stuff that's definitely going to connect back to Rebellion here later on. Big time, actually. But as of right now, malicious Kyubey, empowered Kyubey, or creepy Kyubey, no answer for it. But it's cyclical, right? It's spinning the motif of the revolutions means that Kyubey plays the role again and again. You can't escape it. Again, I don't even know what you have on the back, the thing in the background too, you know? Look at that. Is that like an eye? Is that opening? Is that like an eyelid? Too hard to say. I'm thinking about the soul gem at the end of Rebellion, and, you know, the incubator's looking down on it from the inside. The Moon Tarot card, again, stuff we talked about in both of the previous trailer analyses. This is a direct shot that was taken from the previous version of this trailer. This version of the trailer focused on Homura. So ostensibly this has something to do with Homura. But the interesting thing about this trailer is the salamander that we'll see later. So maybe we have more context for this salamander and what it means, and we're going to have to think pretty hard about whose arm this is, who's doing the stabbing, etc., etc., etc. And when this is all taking place, not only in the series timeline, but also in the context of the movie itself. Like, this seems like an earlier attempt at the salamander to get back to Homura in a way that maybe we hadn't seen before. Yeah, and I still maintain that the brittle sword is Sayaka. That seems reasonable to me, that Sayaka would be wanting to prevent the last scene of this trailer. Okay, then it breaks, etc., etc., etc. This we've all seen before as well. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Here we go with the parfait. Yup. Shots that, again, we've talked about in the previous trailers. They all match more now. They're more developed, more filled out, that it's clear that everybody's having this sweets party here. And before, I think we had a more close-up shot of Mommy, or there was less in the background, or I don't have a direct comparison, I have to pull it up. But putting all these shots together clearly insinuates that all these people are together enjoying this situation. But I think that's a bit of a hoodwink, because this is clearly not the same circumstance here. We don't see any candy, we don't see anything, though it does match the pastel, the palette, right? The overexposure in the background. This is more reminiscent, and we talked about it in the previous trailer, of the scene in Rebellion when Homura and Kyoko have tea together in the bird cage. So I think this is kind of out of place, deliberately out of place in the trailers, sandwiched between fucking Nagisa and her giant ass parfait, and then Mommy and Madoka eating as well. Mommy and Madoka may be in the same place, so maybe that informs us that Mommy and Madoka are together, which shouldn't be that crazy of a thing. Even in the rewritten Rebellion world, I don't think Homocifer is going to prevent Mommy from existing, right? Here's the first, or another one of the first new shots that we see, and this is from the very first trailer, if you remember from last year, this time, right? This is the bound Homocifer, right? This is the chair nailed to the ground, and in that trailer, there was one Homura standing atop the pile of books, which I take to be Homura Prime from episode 12, and then we have the Homura nailed at the bottom of the pile of books. And I take that to be Homocifer. And, that's kind of congruent with what we see from the rest of this trailer. But here, noticeably, it's empty. So, what's the status of a Homocifer? If we're led to believe from the previous trailers and from the, the poster of the movie has Homura against Homura. So, if we're led to believe Homocifer against Homura Prime, then at some point, Homocifer, being the one that is bound and defeated, gets some type of liberation, which seems to happen during the movie. Like, we see Homocifer very clearly undone or defeated in this trailer itself. I can skip forward and find that, but we also see this type of symbol that would kind of, like, if we associate this with Homocifer, which we believe it was in that first trailer, then there's some kind of, like, either this is preparation and this is like signaling that, they're going to bind Homocifer, which seems like an incomplete solution, right? And, like, you can't just bind away Homocifer. Like, that doesn't magical girl solve the problem. That's just kind of a dumb power battle. Or Homocifer managed to escape. And if you remember in the original trailer of this film that we saw the Clara dolls somewhere around here. So maybe at the start of the film, speculation, of course, and that's what we do here, right? Sweet, go check out all the rest of the speculation breakdown videos and readings on the channel for Madoka Magica. But yeah, I would say that if you couple this shot right after the shot where Homura Prime has made Homocifer bound in this chair, and the fact that there were Clara dolls wandering around the base of that shot, then, and with what we know about the pseudo Homura in the dummy Homura in the first version of this trailer, who we'll see again in this trailer too, then perhaps the Clara dolls were the agents by which Homocifer became free. Kind of, I would say this would happen pretty early on in Walpurgisnacht Rising too, right? So maybe there's a prequel of Homocifer being defeated, and then her being bound here, and then the Clara dolls coming by and being all ooh, and freeing Homocifer from this chair specifically. That's what I'm thinking. That sets up a good plot. That sets up a reason for the dummy Homura. That sets up still the resolution. It matches everything that Aoyuki is saying with the hope will find you no matter where you are. Yeah. Okay, here's the money shot. This is the memes if you haven't seen it already, and I'll probably use this for the thumbnail, right? Like, this is pretty fucking stupid, but also amazing. Yeah, that was it. Are you ready? So this we see purple eyes here, so it doesn't 1-to-1 match, and we see the headband doesn't 1-to-1 match, but the blank expression on this Homura and the kind of way that she's being checked on, her physical appearance is being checked on, falls very far in line with what we saw from dummy Homura in the other version of this trailer. And that was, her caring about her appearance, her having the different colored eyes, her having the different headband, and imitating Homocifer in this film. And the checking of the teeth, if you're not aware, this is, oh boy, come on, load. This is a very popular thing that people would do to horses and slaves in the past, you would check their teeth to make sure that they're not malnourished, right? Like if the thing that you are buying has bad teeth, then you know that it hasn't been taken care of well. So that's, the reference. If you don't get why the person is looking at their teeth, it's like to check that they're an actual, reasonably healthy, and in this case, a facsimile, right? Not that Homura's teeth are anything that we ever care about or ever see, but it's really cool to see the moe-ass mouth and then just like realistic gums and teeth behind it. It's like look at that mouth. There's no lips. There's some whisper. And then boom. Yeah. So somebody's checking on how fully functional this Homucifer is, right? This copy of Homura. So that would be the reason why we would think this is, representation of Homura mimicking it, because otherwise why would you check this? Why would Homura be standing here so placidly? This, like, come on. The other thing I want to say about this, God, look at the background. Look at how lovely that is. Oh man. I've been watching Mushishi lately, and it's got such gorgeous art design and backgrounds, and just come on, look at that. That looks really good in that city. The sleeve here. So who is doing the watching, or the not the watching, but the checking of this? We will assume dummy Homucifer. Well, that would be someone with a big ass sleeve, which doesn't really match any of our characters. And maybe mommy has sleeves and stuff, but this is not long like them, and they don't look like that. Brown, right? So this is a different character than anyone we know, right? This could be the Claridolls. This could be a different character in a different outfit that we don't recognize, right? But it does look very feminine, right? This is which we would expect. I mean, there's no men in Madoka Magica that matter. So yeah, I would take this to be another one of the Claridolls. And I think in some of their outfits, I didn't double check this, but I think in some of the outfits we see something resembling this sleeve in the Claridolls. Now, could it be call back to the shot earlier of this? Looks like a different sleeve, right? Like the other sleeve looks like an overcoat type thing, a kind of a fluffy thing. This looks like a school uniform rolled up, right? Or something like that. So I wouldn't say that we can get too much out of those sleeves, but it is worth noting that if you want to see who's in the know on dummy Homura, it's probably somebody with this big ass sleeve. Yeah. This shot was from the first trailer, way too small to make out who the characters are standing here. Remember, there was a quicker cut to those three. Yeah, God knows. All right, this shot again was in the previous versions of this trailer. This shot as well. This is new, but I don't know how much we can take from it. This is what? This is New Girl with the orange hair and Nagisa riding on the fun things. And if you remember my reading from the previous trailers, this character is probably betrayal. This character is probably evil towards the magical girls. So disconcerting, possibly. Just clear representation of innocence, right? Could also be meaningful that Nagisa's going one way and this character's going the other way, Maybe they're at odds. Maybe there'll be a battle between the two. There you go, like a mommy Homura rebellion-ass fan service battle between those two. I don't know who wants that, but there you go. Do we have anything to say about the pretty horses, about the merry-go-round? Another symbol of revolution. Revolution. Is it revolution or revolving is spinning around, right? Rotation and revolution, is that the words I'm thinking of? Anyway, spinning around a central axis, right? And yeah, just the overwhelming innocence and happiness of the shot. The tone is kind of what I want to take away. That's like they're very, very deliberately playing with that in contrast with Homucifer's defeat, right? And this is fun, but can we get anything else out of this? I don't know. You know what I would really liked if one of the horses was black? So it would be a reference to the intro to Revolutionary Girl Utena. But alas, Sayaka in the library again, the shots that we saw in the previous versions of this trailer. Go check my breakdown for that. Kyoko gets no new shot. Sad. Sad. She's eating though, so that's good. Again, dummy Homura. See, again, here, as opposed to the other shot, we have the band having a stripe in it, or kind of a different color thing. And I don't know whether that's just a color thing. We also have the black collar and the hair that's curled. So, at this point in the film, does dummy Homura change her collar and the headband? Or is this Homura a different Homura than dummy Homura? I mean, I guess we can see it here. It could just be a trick of the light that these are gray together, or intentionally not whatever it is, but it's clear that this is not Homura Prime's ribbon, right? Or Homusafer's, right? The red ribbon of Madoka. Yeah, and you see the white collar here and the straight hair. So this obviously happens early in the film, right? Like, I would think the creation of dummy Homura would be something to base the film around. But then we have this shot. Either something happens to dummy Homura over the course of the film, which totally could, you know, she could affect all these changes because of something that goes on in the film that we're not really privy to yet. Maybe the dancing with Madoka, etc., etc., etc. Or this could be a separate version of Homura. We could have four Homuras. How many Homuras are there? I made that joke last time, right? This is again the shot from the original ass trailer that we didn't know anything about. This was the one where there's elements of Mommy, of Madoka, of Homura in the design, and we have no idea what's going on. We have nobody that matches this design. Again, kind of looks like Mommy just because of the boobs, right? But the hair is very Madoka-esque. Yeah. So this, I remember the speculation here was that this character is the representation of Walpurgis, which very well could be, or a combination of the girls, etc., 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 anything really. But this is the same exact shot from the first trailer. So we'll have to wait to find out. This is the feathers. That symbol comes back a little bit. Ooh, nice match cut to the papers flying down. We have here the history of the witches, what we associated this symbol with, the history of the witches and everything, into the cut from the very first trailer of either the character that we just saw or of Madoka being consumed by witchiness. Da-da-da. And I associated this back in the original trailer. Oh, can we get there? This scene with Gretchen. And I believed it to be Gretchen and Madoka's witch, but you know, it really could be any type of witch. Dume Venus, right? Again, this is pretty good because we can see the same headband that we saw earlier in the straight hair. So if we believe this to be dummy Homura, which of course we think it pretty solidly is, a Claridol disguised as Homura, then this is pretty much right after she's been created and given agency in that previous shot that we saw. Again, this really goes in line with the person checking the teeth on dummy Homura. These shots are straight from the other trailers. But instead of the Homura waiting for Madoka, we have this kind of match cut here. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Isn't that a nice one? Ooh, look at this. This is defeated Homusafer, red ribbon and all. But we have a slightly different design on her bodice. What do you want to call that? The top there with the little sleeves that we'll see later on too. It's kind of weird that they would redesign that. I don't really know. They seem to be redesigning a lot of things, and that's totally understandable. But are we to associate this with like directly after Rebellion? I'm not sure. Lovely use of lighting in this scene in the next shot too, with the shadow going right through her head, like just shot through it. And I wonder what we are to make of this, right? Here, I'll progress forward. Here you go. So obviously this one happens after the shot of her falling, right? You can see the wings are even busted in the same way. And landing on the top of the building. She does look surprised. So for whatever reason, now, if my associations are correct, and we see some representation of Homura Prime being the one to do this to Homura, to lay Homucifer low, then that would be surprising to Homura, right? Like that's a representation of an eternal conflict, right? Or I don't know if we would make it actual physical, like timely-wimely bullshit that Homura Prime actually arrived in the physical world universe that Homucifer creates at the end of Rebellion. Either way, if it's metaphorical, even if it's not, it's still really good in the way that it shows Homucifer being blindsided, right? That for as much as she seems to be in control, this is clearly showing that she's not. Now. Can we speculate a couple more ways? Slight changes in the costume. And this expression, right? I don't know if the feather over the left eye means anything. Probably not. It probably just looks really cool. I can't imagine the left eye stuff, though maybe we connect it back to Sayaka. Holy shit, that's a wild one. I'll have to think on that one. I don't know if we could speculate that dummy Homura is Sayaka instead. That sounds batshit insane. Oh god, I love it. Okay, it is the same eye. Okay, wait, hold up. Wait, and the ribbon's on the other end. What if Sayaka is Homura? Holy shit. Holy shit, you guys. Holy shit. Oh, I don't like that at all. Oh, I don't like that at all. Oh my god. Wait, hold on. I said that out loud and I don't like it. Hold on, I was talking about other things, but oh my god, you guys. The bow's on this side this time. What if her eye gets blasted? What if the person we see as Sayaka in Walpurgisnacht Rising was always Homura? Whoa. 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 Whoa, dude. Okay, wait, let me think about this. Could feasibly Sayaka be a representation of Homura or be another version of Homura? Sayaka, I don't know. It's too hard. It's too hard to put those puzzle pieces together. Man, what was I saying? Good lord. Okay, no, this expression and this face and the eye color too really matches this expression and this face and this eye color. So maybe Homucifer, if we want to go on the straight narrow speculation and not off in crack theory land that I was just in for like the last minute, we want to say that I can't stop thinking about Sayaka. I know, being Homura. I can't do it. Fuck, that would be so good. That would be genuinely Urobuchi peak. Oh boy. Okay, finish it out. So yeah, let's consider this to be dummy Homura. Let's say dummy Homura is created and then put in the costume of Homucifer and then pretending to take the fall as Homucifer. Why would they do that? Well, it seems like the Claridolls would do that to get the to let Homucifer operate in peace, you know, without anybody suspecting that she is not already defeated. So could be, but then why would they free her from the imprisonment, right? That seems kind of silly. So that speculation doesn't really work too much. I would still consider this to be Homucifer before the creation of dummy Homucifer. But I loved it. It's just a lovely shot. Like, look at that, right? And the kind of the what are those helipad arrows? What are those little things in the? Oh no, that's the shadows from the bollards. That's cool. They make kind of like a this way to the right, and like being shot by an arrow. Oh, I love it. That's a beautiful shot. Okay, here's the other like gorgeous shot. Right, this one's fresh out of the oven. This one's fun. This is Madoka looking at her phone. It's just that. That's all we get. But come on, look at the background. If this isn't the most perfect representation of what it feels like to be on social media. But no, these other characters all have Madoka's hair, specifically when she has her hair down. So they also kind of have Madoka's figure, and they are dressed in white in actually the Neo Queen Serenity outfit, the Princess Serenity outfit from Sailor Moon. Look at that. Ooh. Don't get me started. Anyway, Madoka is at the end of Rebellion. If we go with the straightforward reading, like Madoka is imprisoned at the end of Rebellion. We even have that scene of her like, oh, I should be something more, and then the galaxy opening up and her hair ribbons flying out. So this is pretty easy to interpret as a symbol of all the other various Madokas and various iterations of and things that Madoka did, just all ganging up and saying, hey, Madoka, the fuck's going on? What are we doing? You gotta remember. It's like the Lion King. He's like, Shimba, you must remember. Yeah, it's kind of that kind of vibe. I don't know, if you have a different reading here, I'm all for it. These look so much like Madoka. Like even the little hairs that, you know, and bereft of the ribbons too, that would really make a strong symbol back to the ribbons, which are used in Saika, which are used in Homura, which seem to be this huge symbol. And you know, you can watch my episode 12 breakdown. I talk about lyrical Nanoha and how much Shinbo loves them ribbons. But look, we've got the red ribbons here, actually, which is, again, one of those little stylistic changes that Rebellions had made, or that they've made since Rebellion, that I don't think really gets enough play. Like, they had the yellow ribbons in the last scene of Rebellion, if you remember that, right? The yellow ribbons, and that goes back to that whole thing in episode 1 with Junko and her, you know, being like, you gotta care about yourself, maybe be flashy, etc., etc., etc. So that having it changed here doesn't feel like an oversight. It feels very intentional, right? Like they would know that they used the yellow ribbons, right? It's not a continuity error. So what does it mean then? Maybe the ribbons change color based on what doing, and Madoka's trying to like reclaim that flashiness that her past with Junko and everything like that. Maybe that's a good way of symbolizing that. I don't know. If you have a thought about the red ribbons coming back in Madoka's hair, let me know. Anyway, this is a big money shot. Are you ready for this one? I'm not playing this video. It's going to get taken down anyway. I'm absolutely sure. But this is such a gorgeous shot. That's the big poggers moment. We have the salamander dive into Homura, right? Oh, and then the wings pop out. Oh, such a good shot. Oh man. Oh, look at that. Isn't that cool? Okay, that's all. Isn't that super fucking cool? And we get a little purple there too. Yeah. Yeah. And the wings. And we see a little black and white on the wings, right? And a pretty easy symbol, right? We saw that in the previous trailer. We saw the feather changing from white to black. And the black and the white symbolizing the back and forth in Homura herself, you know, the redemption of Homura. This is why I'm the most excited about this film, and because you can go watch my video about everything that's wrong with Rebellion, is that idea that we have to square this circle about like why the fuck Homura would do that, do what she did in Rebellion. But man, just whoever did this cut, man, woo, props to him. Oh, right in the stomach. Oh. Is it a pregnancy metaphor, you think? That's right there. I don't know. You think? I don't know, man. Probably not. But this is the reason I said we had to talk about the salamander, right? And salamander, obviously a huge symbol in Rebellion, all throughout for Homura. the thing that I had never understood about and people have talked about the salamander far better and far more than I have. God, I can't remember that one person who made that brilliant video analyzing the salamander, but if I find it, I'll link it in the comments. The salamander, like, representing what, right? Like, yeah, it's got all these symbolic associations with things like fire and rebirth, etc., and being unharmed in the fire. But also, it has this, like, significance, I think, with Homura. And Homura as like, the person I guess I would associate with Homura Prime before the Homus Act and before the transformation into the witch. And yeah, but when in Rebellion, when she's transforming into the witch, you remember, like, when the egg is hatching for the witch, like, right before the Theater of the Witch music plays, I love that one. There's the shot of the salamander being splatted, right? And I always think back to that, and it's like, that's the moment that the salamander is destroyed. Wouldn't that really associate the salamander with the original intent of Homura and with the will of Homura? So I wonder if, like, the salamander jumping into this body of Homucifer says something or anything about a reclamation of will or anything like that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who to attribute the salamander to, which of the Homuras, right? Yeah, I have no idea. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's like, maybe it's the spirit of Homura is represented by the salamander, and the true Homura was the salamander all along. Just some other stuff here. We see this is the redesign of Homucifer with the, no bare shoulders, rated G for everyone. The blood dripping all over the screen. So this could be the Homura that we saw earlier, right? The one that's being defeated here. It's like, if it is that Homura, right? If it is this Homura, which, I mean, it clearly is, right? And we don't really know the identity of this Homura. That could lend some credence to the idea that the Homura doll is being possessed, or that the dummy Homura is obtaining the essence of Homura sometime in the film and then becoming the real Homura. It's kind of like I don't know if you played Elden Ring, a Ronnie the Witch situation, you know, kill the body, but the spirit remains. So it could be like that, right? I believe you call that a homunculus, yeah. Could be, and that could be why they're shocked. But let's think about this chronologically too. Like, if it is dummy Homura, we can have this first shot of Homura's face, yeah, right? Like, creation of dummy Homura. Then we can have putting dummy Homura in the role of Homucifer, and then her being crashed to the ground and blown up and defeated. And then we come to this spot, and, like, that's it. And they're like, oh, why was I defeated? And then we can have in the same, because look at this thing. It's this wide open top of a building, right? In the same gray sky. Could be this is where dummy Homura receives the will of Homura, the intent of Homura, the soul of Homura, and she becomes Homucifer. Maybe. I like the homunculus angle. I like that. It's pretty good. Or maybe this is the final shot. Maybe this is the reconciliation, right? Maybe this is the two Homuras squaring off, like the Homura Prime and the Homucifer ideologies put together and saying, you know, I am a complex person, and what did I do? Why did I do that? I need to understand and forgive myself, etc., etc., etc. Your guess is as good as mine. So whatever you think, leave it in the comments below. Boy, I hope this was recording the entire time and I didn't just talking to the mic for an hour on my own. Okay, great. We did. We recorded. Beautiful. Yeah. So this trailer will go public on November 1st, Perplexity's saying. Yeah, so November 1st. It'll be on the Aniplex YouTube channel. So all the more reason to look forward to Walpurgisnacht Rising. All the more reason to actually think that it's coming sooner rather than later. And all the more reason to get hyped. And if you'll excuse me now, until we next talk again, I am going to now go think endlessly about what if Sayaka is actually Homura? What that boy, if I call that, I get the I get to clip myself and post it on social media, you know, a couple months from now, gloating. That would be something. All right, guys. Till next time. See ya.